Right, here we are, folks. We're back on Virtual Pool 4 on this Sunday afternoon. We've got about 5 minutes or so, well, maybe longer than that, depending on when the players join the room. We have the first round of this year's 10-ball World Championships. Race to 14 on the winner's side. I think it's a race to 10 on the one-loss side, and a race to 17 final. We've got a first round match between Real Poland Power, or Stub, as he's known, who's playing Miasma. And what we'll do in the meantime, before the match starts, we'll go in and we'll just remind myself what it is. Yes, it is race to 14, race to 10 on the one-loss side, and a race to 17 in the final. There's a 30-minute timeout, which is a wee bit too long. They've got about a week to play their first round matches, and they've got 4 days to play the one-loss side. A minute shot clock plus a minute extension, which is more than enough. And it's in the beach house with all the reflections off the windows, and it's on a hard times table. Championship settings, which is the narrow settings. Lag for break. And 10 ball is a called shot game. All non-obvious shots. Now, non-obvious will be banks and combos. They need to be called, the ball and the pocket, and we'll see if that's adhered to. We'll have a look at the bracket, because we've had a result already, and it was a bit of a no match for some reason. Now, where is it? This Phoenix match ended a bit of a disaster. I don't know what went on there, but anyway, Xavierix is through to round 2. We've got matches in the schedule. We've got the one that is starting now, which is down there, the one between Stub and Miasma, and we've also got one. We're going to have a second stream today. There's one at 8 PM tonight, so on that's British summertime, which would be 3 PM East Coast time, and that would be noon West Coast of the States, or California side. And we've got Mr. 9-ball, who, as far as I'm aware, predominantly plays 9-ball, and Semi-Pro, who is the current bar table world champion on 8-ball, and well, he is still to really familiarise himself with the 9-foot table. It could be a lot closer than maybe people think. That remains to be seen. But anyway, that's the match we're going to be streaming later on. The one we're going to be taking care of is the one between Stub and Real Poland Power. Goodness knows how this is going to end up. I mean, if you go, I think myself and Larry played Miasma and Tin, and I think it was an 8-ball tournament. And going by what I've seen there, then I would have to be honest and say I don't think Miasma has much of a chance. But you know, there's 2 people in the game, anything can happen. We wait and see. I'm going to change this to 30 seconds, not that that matters. We should be up and running on Twitch, we should be up and running on YouTube, and we should be also on Facebook as well. We will see if I check the chat should be working okay, and hopefully we'll get this match archived, and anybody wants to watch the matches are going to be saved on my YouTube channel. They won't be saved on Twitch. I log all the matches on YouTube. That's where they will be if anybody wants to go back over and look at them. So we've gone past 1/2 on my watch, or just beyond it. So that room, the tournament room, should be going up any second, and the room is up. Now bear in mind they've got 30 minutes to get into this room, so there could be a bit of messing about here, or they could go straight in. But I'm going to go in anyway and make sure I get in. I've got it set to the blue cloth. We'll have a look at my little doodles, and they're working okay. Check the colour, that's fine. So we sit and wait. So we're going to have the lag off for the break. And I don't know whether there's jump queues in this tournament. We'll find that out anyway. Now, bearing in mind, Tin, that you're typing in the YouTube chat, the guys that are playing in the game can't see it. Now, I think that is miasma on the left-hand side of the table. And it looks to me that Stubb has won the lag. So he's going to break off. 6 ball goes in. And he's going to have a combo in the 7. Now, things like this he doesn't need to call, simply because it's more than obvious that the 7 ball's over the pocket. That's the one he's calling. But, you know, to keep it fair, it's always best just to go by the rules. That way you don't have any fallouts and arguments. Well, he's got to avoid the 4 ball. And he's managed that. Now, has he gone too far? Can he still see enough of the 2? Yes, he can. And well, he didn't want that thick a kiss on the 3 ball. Well, this could go really out of line if it doesn't slow up. So now he's going to have to run for cover, and he's not got the touch. He's giving ball in hand to Miasma. Now, things like this are something where Miasma really needs to take these chances, because you would really think that, and straight away that's gone wrong. That's far too heavy. But chances are going to maybe be few and far between, and if Miasma doesn't take them, well, that's a good shot. It's a reasonable recovery shot. And Stubb is going to pay the price here. So it's going to be first rack to Miasma. Bit of a gift, but still had to pot the balls. And you don't want to do that. Now, you see, that is just stupid. That is silly. And it really was somebody not thinking about what they're doing. You just stun it in and go through with the cue and make sure you hit it. And that is really a really poor shot. Nobody does that if you play the shot right. So you can't throw away gifts, especially when you've done the hard work getting those 3 or 4 balls, getting to the 10 ball, a straight in 10 ball. You've got to stun it in. Well, now Miasma's going to be in trouble. And they should have been in trouble, but it's another weak one from Stubb. Really weak. He was trying to get down behind the 8 ball or down the bottom of the table here. And it's going to be the kick bank combo from the on the 4 onto the 6. And it doesn't go, but it's gone safe. Now, you never know what Stubbs going to play. It looks as if he's going to call the bank. Good afternoon and welcome. Well, that's going to be... Oh, I thought that was going to keep going. If I hadn't clipped at 10, it would have been a missed call. But he's got away with it. And now the best thing, this is another thing here when, and miasma might not be that familiar with 10 ball, but you've got to call the pocket here. If you're playing the 4 ball, you need to call a pocket because there's a chance of kicking this into the middle pocket if you go from the top of the table. And you see that? That is a sign of someone who is not really familiar with 10 ball, especially when you're playing a kick shot, and the fact that it is a called shot game. You really have to call the pocket in case it goes in, because that way then you can continue your run. So here's the combo on the 10 ball for 2-0. And, you know, shots like that Miasma played in that 10 ball, that is just going to set Stubb right up, because he's going to know now straight away the type of, the level of the opponent, and he's not going to be frightened to go for stuff. He's going to open up. Well, he's trying to play a 3-8-7 combo here, and in goes the 7. Needs the luck on the 3 ball. Let's have a look. I don't know whether that squeezes past the 6. It doesn't, but he can certainly kill the cue ball behind the 4. You see, he's even going for the combo now in the 6. And there's always, that's the thing, the little signs. Had Miasma taken out that first rack there confidently and potted that 10 ball, it would have been a whole different reflection on the start of the match. As it is, it just ended up in a gift to Stubb in a rack that he should never have won. And it's also changed his frame of mind straight away. I mean, you size an opponent up if you've never seen them play out, and you know, Stubbs already got his judgment made and his mind made up. And Stubbs' problem is, initially, is finding the pace, and the longer the match goes on, the more he's going to find his shape. But that 10 ball was the most obvious rookie error that anybody makes in a game of pool, where you're potting a straight in ball and you don't even think about what you're doing and you just follow straight into the hole. It's such a naive shot to play, but they always say you learn from your mistakes. So this cut down the rail for 3-0. Well, I've just realised now that it's alternate break. I wasn't aware of that, so alternate break does give the opponent a chance if they can get a ball and they can run out. Now, you can just drop behind the short side of the 3 ball on the left hand side there. He'd be taking a risk if he starts running this cue ball, because there's still traffic there, can easily lock himself out, so he just dropped behind it. Now has he got the angle to come back up for the 4? He's a bit straight, and he needs to come back, bit of spin on it, and get it past that 6. Now we had another result from the first round, which was, I forgot to mention, which I think the guy's name is Ice Age, which is typed out in symbols. I think he uses the letter 3, the number 3 is the letter E. And from what I heard, or what he said in the lobby, he was a Virtual Pool 3 player and then discovered Virtual Pool 4, but he only ever played Virtual Pool 3 offline. And he played VP Monster in the first round, the very first match of the tournament. And VP Monster, who isn't a 9-baller or a 10-baller, he predominantly plays Cowboy. And Ice Age found himself well out his depth online. And VP Monster won the match 14-1. And meanwhile, there's a bit of a steamroller going on here already. It's 4-0 to Stubb. And it is not looking good for Miasma. Going to have to get all the dimensions to your game. Not only just potting balls, but you have to play wisely. Get some decent safeties in. That'll do. And the danger here is that 10 ball. The 10 ball sitting where it is very handy for some sort of combo. But not at the moment. Even a possible billiard off the 3 onto the 10 would be something for Miasma. Also be there for Stubb as well. But you've got to look at the table and plan ahead. Now he didn't call that 8 ball. Now that would have been a missed call had that gone in. He just played to hit the 1, but had that 8 ball gone in, that would have had to have been a missed call. And he's got it safe. Oh no, he hasn't, has he? Has he got it? Is he? No, can see the 1. Didn't think they could see the 1. Well, this is about pace as well, and it maybe needs far too heavy or not heavy enough, depending on how you want to judge it. It's now gone square, but here is a possibility if they can pot this 2 and get a sight. Again, way over hit. So we can see where Miasma is struggling, like many newer players to Virtual Pool 4. Any pool game, it's just controlling the shots. It's always a struggle, and weak safeties is not going to help your cause either. It's just an open invitation. Well, the problem here for Stubb is getting on that 5 ball. This isn't quite as simple. He could go around the corner and try and run across. He's going around the corner. It looks to maybe, I think he's got that pretty good. That will do. And then again he needs that angle on the 6 ball. Always about angles. Straight in shots are no good when you're trying to run a table. You have to always have that angle to allow the cue ball to move and move in the right direction. So now, simple enough 10 ball. And it's 5-0. Of course, you don't have to call a ball in the break. You just have to do a conventional break, and then it's up to you whether you've got a shot on the next ball. He's calling the bank. I don't know whether Miasma's a he or a she, as a matter of fact. Anyway, we'll call him a he for the moment. The bank was called. In goes the one ball into the right middle. Now this is a bit ambitious. The only lifeline here for Miasma in this rack is where the 5 ball is in no great potable position. Oh, he's a he. Well, Miasma scratched, but that doesn't really change the situation. Stubbs looking, it looks like he's trying to just draw straight off this 4 ball, run into the 7 and try and nudge some. No, he's trying to find position. Well, that's asking a lot to get any sort of position on the 5, but it's an easy punch around the table. Now the thing there, the mistake that Stubb made there was not calling a safety, because that 5 ball could have gone in. And Miasma just has to hit and hope. So there's a lot of facets of Miasma's game that aren't there, like any new player. And this is a tough way to get found out when you go into a tournament like this and you come up against a player like Stubb, who's now got himself in trouble. So here is a possible chance for Miasma. Stubbs usually pretty good at kicking. I don't think I've ever seen him using a jump cue. He always relies on the kick. And the struggle for Miasma is reading the shot and looking for position. And this could end up, it could end up a possible, well, a possible run out, but the chance is gone. I'll have a quick drink. Good afternoon, welcome everybody. Just a reminder to anybody that's watching, we've got this match, which obviously, you know, barring some sort of miracle or Stubb losing his connection and his whole internet going down for a couple of days, this match is all but over. We've got a match later on. Now it's coming up in 10 to 5 my time, BST, and in 3 hours time at 8 o'clock we have a first round match between Semi-Pro and Mr. 9ball. We'll have that one on the stream as well. I'll go and get my dinner in the meantime after this, and then I'll be back for that match later on. There's also that other match on the schedule as well. One against, I can't remember who it is, but anyway, they're set for 6 AM tomorrow morning. Needless to say, I won't be streaming that one because I'll be at my work. So, Stubb 6-0 up. Ten ball is blocked off by the 8. Hiya, my little Padawans. What the hell does that mean? Good afternoon. Oh, who is it that's playing then? There's a match that's set. I thought it was one. I didn't know Wanwa was playing Mr. Bill. I thought he. Let's have a look. Where the hell is this thing? Oh no, it's Marcellus and Vince says. Yeah, my mistake. Marcellus and that's a match I would have liked to have streamed. The two of them are in the lobby this afternoon, but God knows why they set it for 6 o'clock in the morning. It seems strange. Anyway, obviously the time zone suits them at that time in the morning, but there's no way I can get that. But that doesn't matter. It's up to the players to set what suits them, not what suits me. So it's going to be 7-0. Couple of balls in the break. The 2 ball and the 8 ball have gone. Stubbs called the bank on the 1. Well, Mr. Bill set his for 8 o'clock as well. Oh, well, that'll be 2 matches on at the same time. So I've already chosen the semi-pro match. Although what I can do is I can jump backward and forward between the 2 matches and have a look at them, see how they're doing. Oh, Stubb now has to get this right. If he goes too far, he'll lock himself out behind the 7 ball. Well, he's got it right. He's actually gone the other side of the 7, kissed it. I think he's still okay. Well, we'll give him that rack. Let's have a look. As far as I know, there was only one match on the night, apart from the other one at 6 o'clock in the morning. No, Mr. Bill isn't playing yet. They haven't scheduled anything. The only one that's scheduled is that Mr. 9 ball one at 8 o'clock, which is in 3 hours' time. So, Stubb leading 8-0 under no pressure. Well, it's fair to say he's going to come up against much stiffer opposition as the tournament goes on. There's no doubt about that. Where he won't get away with the careless shots, and where there'll be someone who has the calibre to take the chances. Well, that's a good safety. And goodness knows how he's going to kick that. Probably just as easy to play the deliberate foul and not worry, because I don't think Stubb will be worried about miasma actually running out. So he's not bothered. He's not bothered. You can tell that straight away. He's quite content just to play that sort of shot, give them the opportunity, and just waiting on the miss. However, had that 4 ball been out in the open, and miasma just ran into the 5. Had the 4 ball been out in the open, and with the 5 ball being out in the open prior to that collision, there was a chance of getting to the 6-10 combo. And another half decent safety is what's needed. Got to change your strategy. If you can't get on the ball, make sure your opponent can't get to it when they come to the table. And this is a better chance for miasma, because again, this is not easy to get any angle whatsoever to get near that 4 ball. And now Stubbs having to do a wee bit more thinking here. The 5-10 combo does not look that easy at all, even though the 10 ball's off the rail, but there is a glimmer of a chance here for miasma. I think the chances of Stubb getting to this 4 ball are fairly slim. And he might not even attempt it either. So he's knocked the 5 ball out the way, but he hasn't actually got it covered to the 2 pockets. So this is important. If miasma can get across the table onto that 5 ball and at least get a shot on it, there's a chance of a 6-10 combo to at least get on the board. So this is about controlling the shot. You don't want to draw into that middle pocket either. Yeah, he could have done that as well. In fact, now that you mention it, that was probably the wiser shot to have played, WizKid, because that would have spotted the 10 ball and it would have taken away the combo. That's a very good point. Or would he, now again, with me not being 100% familiar, had he potted the 10 ball, it definitely wouldn't have been a giving the rack away. It would have still been a foul, wouldn't it? And it would have been respotted. Well, anyway, we're about to find out if the 6-10 will combo, because Stubbs just about to play it. Don't see any problem with this. Just dead weight it. It's got to drop in the hole. So there was a glimmer of a chance there for miasma, but getting position on the 5 ball was the important thing, which they failed to do. Using the 5 ball just to expand the width of the pocket, help the 1 ball in. Now these balls are all wide open, and it's only going to be a careless positional shot that's going to stop him from running out here. The important one is straight away getting back onto that 4 ball. I think he's got a nice little angle just to go up. Well, he's decided just to stun it and leave distance. He could have actually just drawn that slightly. He's going to have to go forward and avoid the traffic. And he's got the pace. And this is just another one where it could go wrong. Got to find that gap. Well, you know my suggestion, why bother watching? So double figures is up, and Stubb just 4 racks away from round 2. And by the looks of it, the only way that that miasma's going to get a rack here is if Stubb leaves a hanger on the 10 ball. In all honesty, that's the way it looks. Nice little angle. Now, he might want to just hit this softish so he doesn't go over to the right side. He risks blocking himself out of the 9, so anywhere where the cue ball is now would be okay. And he's going to go too far, is he? I think he's gone a wee bit too far here. I don't know why he didn't. He had a big area to get into just to leave the cut, because the 6 was off the rail. So it was a careless shot from Stubb. And now Miasma surely can get the thin edge. Oh, that's dangerous, and scratching doing that. No, can't do that. And the thing is, if Miasma just rolls to it, Stubb would run away to the long grass and leave Miasma in trouble. So Stubb didn't get the cover, but Miasma hasn't got the shot in the 8 ball. And again, Miasma's going to make the mistake of not calling a pocket here if they're going to go for the kick. Well, he's decided to go from the long kick bank on this 8, and it's not difficult, but he's looking to find the angle off the rail. Oh, that is unlucky. That is unlucky. Only a fraction out on judgment there. But again, the chance is gone. So it now goes to 11. So there's been, what, 3 racks. That first rack was a gimme. That had to be a rolled in 10 ball with a little just stun to get it. But there's been about 3 racks definitely where Miasma's had a chance. But just nowhere near the standard required to be anything like competitive in this tournament, with the class of players that are actually in it. But nevertheless, they're still going to get a second chance. Going to move over to the 1 loss side. Well, he'll go for the pot here, but the problem here is there's far too much angle to hold for the 2. Well, he's trying to drop it in dead weight to at least keep the cue ball there. He's missed that. Now, again, in this situation, Miasma should be using that minute shot clock. You see, straight away, we've missed a 1, but you've got to use that minute shot clock to size up the table. And, you know, think about exactly what you're trying to do. And Stubbs got himself out of line again there, running into the 7. Oh, he's going to use the jump stick. Well, there's a first. And that's the problem when you don't use the jump stick that often. But again, the table is open. It's a wide open chance here for Miasma. And this 5 ball needs a little bit of drag and a little stun to drop in behind that 6. If you just run it plain, Well, you've got to pot those. You've got to slow down and pot them. Bit of good fortune though. Right, just give me 2 seconds, guys. Right, sorry about that. I'm back. Well, what's this here? What's happening here? Miasma going to get this 10 ball. Oh dear. I think Miasma needs some help with setting up shots and making adjustments. It's something that every new player to the game needs to do. They need to get everything set if they want to become more competitive. They need to not only get the practice in, but get that experience behind them. And it's something you're not going to do if you turn up to the game you've only played it a few months. I don't know how long Miasma's played VP4, but they're certainly new to me. And again, never going to get a better chance than that shot there in the 10 ball. Now I wonder if my friend can type anything in the chat now. I don't like derogatory comments on my chat stream. Or what I deem to be derogatory comments from people watching. So hopefully I've taken care of that. Especially from someone who knows my name. What annoys me more is someone who knows my name but they use some sort of weird name when they join my stream. I don't like that either. That type of deception is a wee bit annoying. But anyway, hopefully that has dealt with it. And if it hasn't, I'll deal with it again. So anyway, Stub is in the final furlong, as they would say in racing terminology here. Well, that is a point I would agree with. The point where it depends. See, the thing is, it depends how far you want to take your game. A lot of these players come on and they just like to bang balls about, and they're not really processing information. And when I say that, they're not doing what you're saying. Actually watching. Well, there you go. December last year. I mean, that's no time. I mean, when I get Virtual Pool 3, I was 6 months offline before I even looked at online. You know, I never came near online until I had the game for 6 months and messed about with it long enough before I decided to come online. And even then, when I come online, I still get my arse handed to me more often than not. You know, but anyway, it depends how far you want to take the game. Plenty of players come on here, just knock balls about, don't even think about what they're doing, and you know that's fine. But and again, you can't criticise somebody for entering a tournament because that's their choice. You know, but it's, you know, I said earlier on today that the amount of time I've seen miasma here, I didn't think that they had a chance against Stub, and you know that's more than obvious. But the question is whether they learn anything from it. But they're not going to do that in 6 months. No way. And the other thing you look for from a player that's new is whether they actually you can sense whether they've played in real life. And from the evidence here, I would like to suggest that miasma doesn't play an awful lot of real life pool or anything like that. Or if they do, this is a kind of level that they would play at in real life, where they're not really fully aware of what they're doing, and you know. But again, you have to give that time for players to pick that up, and you won't do it in 6 months. You know, God, I mean, there's a lot of guys that I know in the VP4 lobby who've been at this game as long as I have. And I'm not talking about Virtual Pool 4, I'm talking about all the Virtual Pool games. We're talking 20 odd years here. You know, but, you know, again, a lot of the guys that have been here a long while, I can pretty much guarantee you most of them have brought a lot of real life experience to Virtual Pool. Like they know how to play certain shots, and you can see that. You know, there's an awful lot of players who bring their knowledge from real life and put it into this game, and the thing is, you can pretty much do what you do in real life in this game. Miasma's got an awful lot to learn, and I'm afraid this is learning the hard way. So Stub, a nice thin cut down this rail, and he's probably going to have to go across the table twice if he can manage to do it, but he should have good sight on that 8 ball. As long as he avoids running into the 10, he should have good shape on the 8. Yeah, it wasn't easy, but it's another chance for miasma. Even this shot is difficult to judge the draw. See, he just left himself a bit square, but the angle is natural to come out for this 9. Slow down. We'll want to see him try and at least get 1 rack on the board. Take your time. Well, it's going to be a run into the middle pocket. It has to be into the middle pocket. Well, this to get rid of the bagel. And don't let the cue ball run either. But anyway, you're not disgraced as long as you win 1 rack. That will do for me. And it wasn't a 10 ball hanging over the pocket. They had to get those last 3 balls. So the push out called, and Stubb may well put them back in. No, he's going to go for the thin cut. Well, he's going to go running down towards the 5 ball with that inside English. Needs to slow up a wee bit here. Just going a wee bit too heavy. Now, again, can use the 9 ball as a stopper. Just pot the 3 ball normal pace and run into the 9. Because that would at least hold for the 4 by the looks of it. Without going behind the shot, it looks the natural path of the cue balls running into the 9. And I think that's a bit unlucky. 9 ball ending up a blocker. Again, Stubb just playing the kick and not calling a pocket. I'm always in the habit of calling a pocket whenever I play a kick in 10 ball. It's just a habit. And it's a habit that you should have, because you never know. You can fluke it into a pocket and win the rack from it. Admittedly, it's going to be pretty rare it happens, but there's always that time, maybe in a desperate situation, where it might work to your advantage. Well, that was a good cut. Now that is unlucky as well, I think. Can they see enough? No, they can't. You need to play the little massey round that 7 ball or get the jump stick out. So this match is now pretty much over. Stubbs got ball in hand, and it's just going to be the last 4 balls to complete the formalities. We'll have a look at the bracket and see who Stubbs likely to get next. And a quick reminder again, we'll be back here at 8 o'clock, or just before 8 o'clock, for the match between Semi-Pro and Mr. 9 Ball. So Stubb is through to round 2 in this year's 10 Ball World Championships, Virtual World Championships. He wins the match against Miasma by 14 racks to 1. So we'll have a look on the bracket. That will update. And where are we? Right, well, this is going to be a good example. Senny knows how to pot a ball, and he will give Stubb more of a test, certainly. Stubb's still going to be the favourite in that match, no doubt, but if Senny gets his mind on it, he'll certainly take a lot more chances than Miasma ever did in that match. So that's going to be more of an interesting match. He'll still be strong favourite, but I expect Senny to put up a stronger fight than what we just witnessed there. So, what else have we got? Not really much happening. I mean, there's a long way to go in this tournament, particularly the fact they've got 8 days to play the first round matches, so it won't take shape until we've had a few results through. But anyway, that match there is the one that we're going to have later on. Mr. 9 Ball against Semi-Pro, race to 14, alternate break, which I didn't know, and that's going to be 8 o'clock. So until then, chaps, thanks for your company, although it was short and sweet, and we will see you again later on.